It's hard to believe, but before I became a digital storyteller, I used to feel emotions like joy, happiness, anticipation for the future. I used to, but then something happened on Halloween night that changed everything. It started innocently enough. I was 15, too old to trick or treat, but too young to be out partying. I ended up spending the holiday with my pine-sized cousin Jake, helping him collect candy while he went door to door in our quiet Ohio neighborhood. We started off on Maple Street, the epicenter of our suburban community, where every house decked out their yards, carved pumpkins grinning from every step and porch. Some costumed characters doled out candy while others handed out full-size chocolate bars. By the time Jake and I reached the end of the block, his plastic pumpkin was already overflowing. As we continued our trek, we noticed a few houses at the end of Pine Street that were uncharacteristically dark. No decorations, no lights, just boarded-up windows and overgrown bushes. We didn't pay them much mind because we knew the legend. The houses at the end of Pine Street had been abandoned after a fire raged through them more than 20 years ago. No one lived there anymore. But as we rounded the corner onto Pine Street, Jake stopped dead in his tracks. He pointed at one of those dark houses and swore he saw a scarecrow guy standing on the porch holding a candy bowl. I didn't see anyone, but he begged me to go with him, so I did. As we approached the house, I began to feel a growing sense of dread. The air grew colder, and a thick fog rolled in, obscuring the street and the houses around us. I couldn't shake this feeling that we weren't alone. When we reached the top step, the porch creaked ominously under our feet, and the front door was slightly ajar. I hesitated, then knocked, and then we heard it. A voice that sounded like dry leaves blowing through an alley said, "Trick or treat." Startled, we both jumped back. Jake and I looked at each other, then slowly approached the door. Peeking inside, we saw a figure standing motionless in the shadows. It was hunched over, shrouded in a tattered black cloak, and wore a tall straw hat that hid its face. Beside it, on a chipped porcelain bowl filled with candy, sat empty. "Take one," Jake whispered, reaching out a trembling hand. I grabbed his arm, shaking my head. My skin prickled with goosebumps. I wanted to run, but I couldn't move, frozen in place by an unseen force. Suddenly, the porch light flickered on, then off, and when it turned back on, the figure had moved. Its head was turned toward me. Slowly, its face was pale, stretched, its eyes hollow and black, sludge dripping from its mouth. I screamed, pulling Jake behind me as we stumbled back down the steps and ran away. When we turned back, the porch was empty, the door closed. There was no sign of the figure or the bowl. Breathless, we told my aunt and uncle what had happened. They thought we were lying, probably scared by the fire-ravaged houses and our own imaginations. But a few days later, they went to Pine Street to investigate. They asked the neighbors if they'd seen anything and learned that no one had lived in those houses for over 20 years. They searched for the address we remembered, but all they found was a vacant lot. The houses were gone. The fire had left only charred memories and twisted metal gates. They never found a porcelain bowl, or a tattered cloak, or a single piece of candy. But sometimes, on Halloween night, when the wind whispers through the trees and the shadows grow long, I still hear the crunch of candy wrappers in my closet and feel something warm brush against my neck. I turn around. Of course, there's nothing there. But sometimes, just sometimes, I think I see a face in the darkness, a pale face with hollow eyes and a smile full of black sludge, and it's waiting for me to take another piece of candy.